So you're not hot. You ain't cold either. But you warm. What makes you warm? What makes you warm is you can't decide to go all in on either decision. You say you want to get closer to God, but your actions, your obedience don't line up with that belief. So can you even call that a belief? You're half in, so the other part of you that's half out, it can't even commit to being fully out. Being warm is the worst place you can be. You know, in this season of my life, I definitely have felt warm at times. And I felt hot, on fire for God. And then there were other times where I felt just cold. Like I knew my actions weren't lining up with my beliefs. So how can I even sit there and try to say that I'm on fire or I'm committed to God? No. For me, I'm committed to God when my actions line up with my beliefs. When I'm doing what He says. You know, 2026 can be your year. Right now can be your day. Right now could be your minute. Right now could be your very hour. It's the hour that you decide that you're just going to commit. Commit to whatever you're going to do. You don't have to have God in it like I'm telling you right now and have God as your center, but whatever you commit to, go all in. God says in Revelations, you know, I always say Revelations, it's revelation. He says you're neither hot nor cold. So since you're neither hot nor cold and you're lukewarm, I'm going to spit you out my mouth. It shows that God has no respect for someone who can't commit. Who can't commit to either side. He's not telling you to be cold for Him. He's not telling you to be hot for Him. He says you're neither. He said, I'd rather you be either or. Because when you're in the middle, man, you're playing with fire. You're playing with fire. You know to do better, but you choose not to do better. You know to do better, but you choose not to be better. That always blew my mind. That always made me think, why do I know better and I don't do better? How do I know better and not do better? I think it comes down to, I know better, and since I know better, I'm just going to choose to do what I want. You know, satisfy the flesh. Many ways to do that, guys. Just, you know what God calls you not to do. And every time you do it, you're just satisfying the flesh. Those carnal needs that, you know, rag on your brain and just don't leave you alone at times. But if we commit to stopping those things day by day, you know, you start with one day. I remember that, you know, I'm not saying I'm cleared from this, but I used to swear a lot. I used to swear in everyday conversation. I used to swear in front of strangers. I used to swear in public. And I have been a Christian since I was 12 years old. You know, I believed in Jesus since I was 12 years old. And it made me think like, yo, what kind of example are you setting? You sound just like the world. How are you going to make an impact on the world if you sound just like them? You're fitting in with them. There's no difference. Why would someone want to be anything like you? You sound just like them. And I started applying that same thing to every little parts in my life, you know? And at one point, I went one day without swearing. And it was hard. I remember there was like probably 5-6 days that I would screw up. And then I would set the clock back over. I go, that doesn't count. I don't care if I only sweared one time. The whole point of the video is to, the whole point of it is to not do it. So I went 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. And now here I am. This I did probably 3 years ago. Here I am now. And I could jump on camera. And I can't believe how much it's actually helped me with being on camera and being in public places and talking to people that I now don't have to worry about watching my mouth. I'm not gonna swear. Every time I swear now, it's willingly. Like, I'm willingly doing it. There's like a pause moment before it happens. And I'm left with that decision. I'm at the crossroads. You know, there's a moment when you can recognize the crossroads. And when you're able to recognize the crossroads, you're able to make a conscious decision. I feel like a lot of times we just kind of subconsciously make decisions. We call it, oh, it's a reaction. No, man, like, in order, you take it in a scientific form, if there's a reaction, sometimes there's instant reactions, but there's still time for those components to come together, and when they come together, that's when the reaction happens. So you have a moment in time always where there's a crossroads, there's a decision that needs to be made. Whether you make that decision subconsciously or you make it consciously, that decision is going to be made. So we want to get to that point now. We want to get to that point consciously in everything that we're trying to succeed in, everything that we're trying to do. We want to get to that point consciously. That way we can make the right decisions. You know, that's one of my biggest things this year in 26 is commit. You know, commit fully to things. You know, I want to commit to making these videos. I want to commit to becoming a better film editor, a better editor, a better film creator, and I want to commit to making better videos. I want to commit to making more music. I want to commit to being a better husband. I want to commit to being a better father. You know, these are things that I think, a better friend, a better son, all these things, you know, just fully commit. And I'll tell you what, one of the main things that gets in my way is myself, my attitude. You know, I want it at my time. I don't want to be inconvenienced. And when I am, I get annoyed. That's real. I get annoyed. When I don't do the things that I need to do and there's other things that I need to do that involve other people, I get annoyed. Do you know how crappy that feeling is? That's not a good feeling. That's something I'm working on. That's something, I'm being honest with you guys. That's something I'm working on. And it's just, you know, everything is a blessing, man. I come back to it and I'm just like, you know, these moments that you have in time with people aren't going to last forever. You know, everything here is just not going to last forever. This is a stopping place, you know, this is a stopping ground. It's a pit stop, you know, it's a pit stop for eternity. And, you know, I want those moments to count, you know. Obviously, if God gave us this short time on earth, then there's obviously a big reason, a massive reason why you're here in a short amount of time with unpredicted situations. So I just want to, you know, remain in that right there, you know, complete appreciation, complete constant gratitude for the day, for what I'm seeing, for what I'm experiencing, for what I'm doing in everything that I'm doing, you know. Guys, don't let another year go by that you don't commit to yourself, at least. You know, because you can't commit to God if you can't commit to yourself, because you have to be able to master yourself. You know, God can't make you do anything. He can't make you do anything. I just said to him today, I said, God, you know, guide my words, guide my thoughts, guide my heart, guide my actions. God, I give you my free will. And I said to him, I said, I don't even know if that's possible because you gave it to me. I don't know if I can give you my free will. And then all of a sudden this analogy popped in my head, like, you know, okay, you got a fast car, okay? You got a fast car. You could drive it reckless, or you can drive it controlled, as if you were driving a baby in the back or your loved one in the passenger seat. You wouldn't drive reckless then. What about yourself in it? Do you want to kill yourself? So it's the same vehicle, but it's driven a different way. And yeah, I want God driving it. I don't mind being the vehicle, being the mechanical parts, but I want God driving it. So, you know, what drives you?